How's it going? It's Rocky. So after a massive bullish run last week, unfortunately this week my performance was a bit of a letdown. After chasing on Monday and taking a big L, I'm actually kind of proud of how I recovered the rest of the week where I didn't try to chase anything. So even though it was a red week, I think that there's still some valuable lessons that I could share with you this week. Welcome to week number 46, and what I'm showing in the screen here is the MYM, which is the micro for the Dow Jones Industrial Average, and each candlestick you see here represents 1 hour. And basically, I'm going to show you how my week turned out by just turning on the lines here. I denote my losses by drawing this circle here, just so I can go back and pretty much analyze what I did wrong. You can see it was a pretty significant loss for me here. I'll go through the details on that on the trade analysis. Check out the timestamp if you just want to forward to that section. And basically, after that big L on Monday, you can see that on Tuesday, I just took one trade. Wednesday, just one trade again. Thursday, I was a bit more active where I did 3 or 4 trades. And then Friday, I just, didn't even bother trading at all. So that's just a quick snapshot of how our week 46 went. So this is the trade analysis, and for this week, since it's a red week, I'm going to focus on what I did wrong on the first 2 trades on Monday. And if you were curious about, daily how I'm doing, I actually have an Instagram that I started this year. This is my 3rd attempt trying to. But if you go through my account where I try to go through, my trading, of course, food, because I love food, and some long-term investment topics, you can see that on Monday, I posted exactly how I did. So on Monday here, if you click on this post, I showed that on that day, I gave back almost 4.1 thousand back to the market. And here you can see exactly what's going on, right? Like basically the YM that I have here is the account that I've been holding on for really since the beginning of Q4. And my intent for it is to keep it until December 15th. When the contract closes, just to, because there's been a bullish sign for it. And I'm doing that because I really wanted to focus on the MYM. Trading the MYM, I'm trading with less contracts where, 10 MYM is equal to 1 YM. And with this MYM, basically, I'm trying to go back to my basics, trying to go long or short. And my main goal here is essentially to focus on not holding anything after the US market close. So, intraday only, how you should really be trading the futures market if you have a smaller account like I do. So you can see here, with the MYM, my PL open was 0. And that's where I actually, I lost $3,288 from trying to hedge with it, and I just did it wrong. And I'll go through that trade on exactly what happened. So on this trade, on the left, if you're new to my channel, this is the time-based chart where each candlestick equates to 5 minutes, and on the right is the tick-based chart. So essentially, each candlestick represents 512 ticks, and that's a lot less for the YM because there's a lot less volume compared to the ES. So if you were to trade the ES, which is the S&P 500 or NASDAQ, there's definitely a lot more volume. So I would leave that up to you to figure out how many tick count you would use. And of course, on the right, I'm using Heikin Ashi. So the problem with this one is this was the Sunday after that massive run that occurred last week. You were curious what happened. I have a link above on my content last week. And essentially, fundamentally for me, I was like, all right, that was too quick of a run. So I was actually already had this bias that I needed to short. So on Sunday here on this trade at 6 p.m., you can see, I'm going to zoom in a little bit on that one. You can see that on the time-based side, I shorted because, I saw that crossover, which is when I normally short. And then stochastic RSI, we're on the oversold side. And then on the tick-based side to the right, I'm going to zoom into that one. Basically, when I entered here, it's the same thing where, the MACD had crossed over. And unfortunately, with the tick-based chart, it does the last 5 days. And when I do it too late, since it doesn't show this aspect, this portion on Sunday, because it only aggregates the past 5 days. So fortunately, I can't show you exactly where it was on the stochastic RSI, but I'm pretty sure it was on the oversold side. So this is one of those where I'm gonna zoom out a bit now, and I think I will use the tick base on the right here to go through my trade, but I'll zoom out for both of them. You can see that, I did 6, followed by, another 6 and another 6 again. That got us to 18 contracts that it was going up. So you can already tell that I'm sort of doing some sort of revenge trade here. I'm chasing and going against what's occurring, because in my mind I was like, hey, it don't make sense for you to still keep going up after what had occurred and fundamentally what's happening in the overall market. So again, I went back to this type of thinking that usually is what's caused me to lose such a significant amount this year. And then you can see here again the next morning when I did wake up. Again, I protect myself with my OCO, so it didn't go too crazy. And I actually would have had an opportunity to exit right here, right when the market opened, because I was profitable at that time. It's just that, I made a mistake of not waking early enough and paying attention to this. I just trusted it onto the OCO, right? Because I was willing to lose what I needed to lose. And then the problem occurred when I kept adding more. So we were at 18, added 2, that's 20. Before you know it, I added another 4, we're at 24. And then added another 4 is 28. And then we finally got to 30. So at one point we were at 30 contracts short here. So basically with the YM, I have 1 E-mini. And then since I have 30 on the short, it allowed me to go up to 30 because now I'm net negative 20 MIM short if you combine the YM, the MYM, right? And that was pretty much the limit with the cash account that I have. I could only trade up to 2 full E-minis at this point. The beginning of Q4, I could only do 1 E-mini, but since we've been gaining some money back, we're able to do up to 2 E-minis now. But anyway, with this one, it just pretty much kept going up and up and up. And then before you know it, right at 10 in the morning, this massive spike on there. I was like, all right, no more. This is where I was like, all right, I know I'm down a lot, but I know what it's like to be down a whole lot more. So I'm proud to say I had the discipline to cut it out. But the problem is I went long because I was frustrated. So, I'm showing my weaknesses here. I went long 10 micros. And with this 10, I could have exited, but I pretty much, I wasn't paying attention, or I was shocked, or I was trying to, maybe get back at the losses I've already had for the day. But unfortunately with this one, it just kept going down. So I had a second L at that point, and that's contributed to a bad day. And what's frustrating about this, as you can see, by the end of the day on that Monday, you see this massive red and you see where that bottom is. I would have been okay. But, that's just luck, right? Or you can't predict the future. I was just, I guess what I can say is it was bad that I followed it when I was counter trend trading here. But I guess I was proud of the fact that I just closed out twice. And I was like, all right, I'm accepting defeat. And even though it sucks and it's painful to see at the end that if I had just held on 2 more hours, I would have already gotten the money back and actually would have made some significant profit. But with what I'm doing with this hedge account, as I'm calling it, I'm really practicing going in and out really quickly. And I failed at that, and I didn't want to keep holding on to it. So that's just how it turned out. I can't say how I could have done it better differently, because that's, hindsight. The only way that I could say that I did react well is the fact that, after that loss on Monday, if we look at this weekly chart, you could see that I took my time, right? Just one trade Tuesday, another one trade Wednesday, had more confidence on Thursday, and Friday I just didn't try to get my account back to green. I just left it alone because I can fight another day, another week. I just knew that I started the week wrong, and if mentally you're not there, it's not good to try to chase it. But essentially that's how it happened this week, and hopefully we can recover a little better next week. So this portion of the content is the account statement. I'm recording this on Friday, November 18th, 2022 at 7:06 p.m. in the Pacific West Coast. And the statement I'm showing here occurs on Sunday, November 13th to today, Friday, November 18th. And basically, by looking at the description here, I do want to point out that I did pay myself this week $1,000. So what we'll do is we'll add that value back to our ending cash. And just scrolling down a bit more, there's no other deposits or withdrawal that I've done. So just that 1,000 that I withdrew there. So with the calculator here, we can see that our ending cash for the week was $32,910.13. And of course, we withdrew that 1,000. So I'm going to add that back. And then we will then subtract our starting cash for the week. And our starting cash for the week was $36,494.85. So for the week, unfortunately, we did give back negative $2,584.72. But like what I mentioned from my Instagram there, where we were down $4,171.08 starting on Monday, proud to say that I was to lower that to negative 1,200, negative 2.5 thousand. Still red, but I like how I reacted this week, and that's really what I want to show you with my journey. That there's a bit of maturity there, a little bit of a relapse on Monday, but I was able to correct, and hopefully we'll get it back next week. You know, we got 6 more weeks or so to the end of the year, and we're still a ways out to break even, but I still have hope that we'll get there somehow. But if not, hey, I can continue on this passion of mine, and we still have next year as long as I conserve my capital. All right, hope you enjoyed the content, and I will see you next time. All right, have a good one.